Good morning, everyone. It's Sunday, and so I thought we would do like a class on creating ease in your body. And what it sounds like is this is going to be moving really easily and slowly, which is partially true. But I have to tell you that, man, when I figured out how to do all of my exercises and poses with ease underneath the whole, challenge of it or strength of it. My strength went up times like a whole octave. So we're gonna kind of be playing with the concept of doing something that's challenging, but also at the same time creating ease in your body. So let's begin in a nice, easy, comfortable, yummy position. And this is one of my favorites here. So we're gonna put one block at 9 inches high here. It goes under the head. This one goes under the spine. You're gonna wanna put your spine kind of right in the middle of this one. And if you think about, you have a couple of ribs at the bottom that are floating ribs. You don't want your floating ribs on here, but you wanna put right there, kind of in the upper lower back or the lower mid back, and just relax here. Palms to the ceiling and start taking some deep breaths, allowing the chest to open, allowing your ribs to expand. Taking a breath in now, out the nose. We're going to be here for a little while, so you can go ahead and close your eyes if you wish. Feel your belly breathe. And allow your pelvic floor to relax. A couple more breaths. On your next exhale, take your hands on either side of your hips and gently push yourself up to seated. And we're going to open up the spine a little bit. So put these blocks off to the side, and we're going to lie down on our backs and cross your right leg over your left one. Now from here, what we're going to do is your knees are going to want to go to the left, but we're going to move them to the right. And back to the center. To the right and back to the center. So for all of you folks who have a tight back, or like maybe you sit at your desk a lot or something, and your back gets really tight, this is a real specific release. And then I even work with some folks who have difficulty when they wake up in the morning. Wake up, they're like, oh, my back is so stiff. So when I get out of bed, it's difficult to just start, kind of walking around normally. So I recommend this in bed before they get out of bed, and it makes a difference. But we're going to add a little shoulder here. So we're going to take the palms up over the heart in prayer position. And you don't want your elbows to bend or your palms to slide on each other. So that means your shoulders are only going to move really about like 3-4 inches to the left. They're just going to glide over to the left and pull back to the center. But what that's going to do is it's going to make the twist a little deeper. So keep breathing in and out of your nose, twisting the knees, lower body, actually to the right, and shoulders to the left. Now we'll add the third point, which is the neck. So if you follow your knees, you get this 3-point twist. And it's an easy twist, but nonetheless, it feels really good. And when you move in slow movements like this, and you'll notice sometimes we do a lot of circles, it's one of the things that it's doing that you can't see, and I mean, in a sense you can feel it, but in another sense you can't, is we're asking the joint fluid to move in your body, in your joints. And if you think about how, if you go down the street, let's go and come to the center and then we're gonna switch sides. Left leg over, and we'll start with the knees going to the left and to the center. So if you think about going down the street and you find a puddle, it's likely there's just this little divot or this little dip in the road. Well, your joints, you can have joint fluid that kind of pools up like a puddle. And oh man, it feels good to get that joint fluid moving, especially if you have any kind of like injury or creakiness in your joints. Let's take a couple of breaths here. Adding shoulder glides away from, so shoulders going left, knees, the lower body going right. And of course you can add in that head, following the knees with your vision. One more breath here. And then we'll release, we'll roll to our sides and we'll push up to seated. All right, now let's go ahead and come up to standing position. Stand up with me, I'm gonna give you a moment to do that. This is gonna be something really simple, but really soothing as well. So it's talking about that circular movement that gets the joint fluid. We're gonna do that, we're gonna go kind of like down throughout the body. And something you might not know about me is that I've also studied some Chinese medicine, so and some like the physical practices that go with that, qigong, for example, and tai chi. So this is something from qigong and tai chi that gets that warms the joints. So we're going to start with a standing position, what we call zero posture. So I want you to think about if your pelvis does not overextend here and it does not tuck, it would be neutral. And how I like to think about that is there's a slight bend in the knees, and if I'm sitting on a bar stool and I have 3 legs to it, I have a leg, and then my tailbone would be the third leg if it were long and it would reach the ground. So I want you to think about sitting on your tailbone bar stool, and that will put your pelvis in zero posture with your head stacked right over your pelvis. You're not going to have a lot of muscular effort in the back either. All right, so here we go. Take your arms up, and we're going to start with some simple wrist circles. Breathing in and long, smooth out. Let's reverse. In traditional Udang Qigong, what we do is we do 9. So I'm counting about 9 circles. Let's go next to the head. We're going to take the head right and left. Right and left. And when you're going right and left, I want you to go all the way so you feel a stretch on either side of the neck, but without your shoulders pulling up towards your ears. Two more. The last one. And back to the center. All right, now we're going to come to the shoulder. So this is a wind around. Wind around. I want you to think about your arm is what's winding. And so I'm twisting here. I'm just letting my body naturally twist. I'm not doing any effort to try to keep my body still and separate my body from the joint. I'm allowing the twist. And then after this last wheel, I'm going to turn the other way. I'm going to let my arm drop a little bit here,
and loose, loose. Last wheel, and relax. You might notice, there's some tone in the shoulder actually. Let's go to this other side. And reverse. And then relax. All right, next we have the spine. No, sorry, the elbows. Was almost missed the elbows here. Pull your elbows in towards your ribs, and we're gonna circle around 9 times. Reverse. Here we go with our back. Our shoulders are gonna come around in a circle, and you let them fold like origami. They might fold a little bit. You don't create the fold, you just allow it. And there's a difference between squeezing your shoulder blades back and then just allowing gravity to do its thing. And gravity will do its thing. Let's reverse and go the other way. Now the hips, hula hoops, or what I call these. Imagine you're scraping the inside of a hula hoop out, or jar of peanut butter, whatever, out with your hips. Round in a circle. And reverse. And relax. Okay, the knees. Here we go. Putting the balls of the feet together and the inside of the heels, gently just touch. Knees together, palms right above the knees. Knees go around the ankles. Now the knee joint is really important to get joint fluid moving because it's a synovial joint, which means synovial means joint fluid, or synovial fluid is joint fluid. And so the knee heavily relies on it. It does not have muscles running through the joint. So it relies on the lower leg and the upper leg and the other joints above and below, and the joint fluid to support the knee joint. All right, here come the ankles. Toes down to the floor, we're gonna roll the ankle, roll, roll. And reverse. And put that foot down. Here we go, other side, roll. and relax. All right, now we're feeling a little bit more alive, a little bit more awake with this. And I want to introduce the concept of being in maybe a challenging position, and then really, really finding the relaxation in a challenging position. This is where, if you can kind of get some mastery in this, this is where the strength elevates like you wouldn't expect it. So we're going to grab a couple of blocks. I'm going to show you a few variations of this. So we're going to be working in like a warrior 3 type position. So I'm going to give you a few options for this. So let's say this is the first option. First option is standing on your leg. I want you to think about my body here. I'm not breaking here at the waist. I'm taking my heel and my head as if they were one straight line, that they couldn't bend from each other, that they had to stay in the straight line. And I'm pitching forward here. Now you might, especially if you practice yoga, might be able to come into this position and hold for quite a bit in this straight line. Or if you struggle a little too much there to be able to relax, then you want to put your fingertips on the block. That helps you lift your chest and keep this straight line here and breathe. Now let's say that's still a little bit too much for you. You could go into this position here and not get quite at that angle and start to work in that position. But one thing I want you to be focused on is this here. Sorry for the back view, you guys, but this is how you're gonna learn this one. So most of us will have a tendency to externally rotate. So I want you to internally rotate and really kind of get your hips into this square position. And shift your weight into the heel, standing heel, and breathe. And just feel what's going on there. So I want you to, as you're here, you may be in this position right now, breathing and saying, oh my goodness, I'm really aware this is challenging, really aware of the challenge in the standing leg, standing hip. Now I want you to breathe and feel how there could be ease through the rib cage, through your breath, in the upper chest. And the shoulders come away from the ears. So there's ease in the neck. We're looking down. There's ease in the neck. Even though you have a strong, long leg behind you, there's ease in the ankle being flexed. And then slowly, gently come out of the position. And how did that go? It's likely the first time you do that and try to create ease in your body, you're like, where is it? It's still searching. And so the practice is just that, is that you do it again. And you find, oh, okay, this breath was easy. There was some ease in my chest. And you look for it, and the more and more you will find it, you'll find that ease in your position. All right, let's go into the second side. And you can either, again, you can have your fingertips on the floor, on the blocks, head and heel reach apart, pulling the abdominals gently in, holding and breathing. And again, looking for, where is there ease? Is there ease in my breath, through the ribs, in my upper chest? And how can I create that? And even if you can't come into this warrior 3 with your arms out in front of you and stay there and hold, maybe coming here for a moment to establish that ease, and then coming back into the position with your arms extended is perhaps something that would lead you to finding that balance between the challenge and creating ease in your body. So it's very individual, and it's something to play with. Go ahead and slowly, gently come out. And take a breath here in the standing position. And we're going to take it down to the floor. So because it's very personal, I can guide you towards it or coach you towards it. But it's something so specific that when you find it, it's almost like, when you are working through like a combination lock and it's really complicated, and then finally you get that click and the door opens. It's kind of like that. So your code might be a little different from mine or from hers. So let's have a seat. Take your head over your hips. Close your eyes. And coming back into that ease. So check in with your face. Make sure your face is nice and relaxed. Your head is over your hips, so there's not a lot of muscular effort in your back to keep you here. Your ribs are softly expanding and contracting, and so is your belly. And so is your pelvic floor. And at some point in time, we may have like a pelvic floor session, but the pelvic floor is also a really important part of your breathing. Creating ease and effortlessness. And I highly recommend you just close your eyes and simply sit and pay attention to your breath for the next 5 minutes. Happy Sunday, everyone. It's lovely being with each and every one of you. And I'll see you again tomorrow for another 20-minute practice. Until then, take really good care. See you soon.